Alrighty, we are live. So I wanted to go over just a few charts. I know people have questions about Fibonacci levels, how to do those. Some people have questions about the wheel strategy, and we're going to do another live stream tomorrow, but I wanted to go ahead and get a live stream and recording done today. So just in case you can't be there tomorrow morning, you have this tonight or the following day. All right. So we're going to go ahead and hop in on exactly what I'm looking at and what Fibonacci levels are and everything. Okay. And I use TradingView. So I'm going to go through TradingView settings instead of, hopping around platforms. But as far as what Fibonacci levels are, right, here is ASTS. And we have been trading ASTS for a while now. Okay. We went ahead, added here. Okay. Let me go ahead and basically, I'm going to delete these so you guys can see what I was thinking, okay? So typically, you look for the bottom of a trend, okay? Here's the bottom of a trend, right? This is your new bottom point. So what you're going to draw once you see this wave hit, okay? You can figure out targets, okay? So if I go to Fibonacci extension, I will go ahead, grab the bottom, grab the top of a move, okay? And then the bottom of a move, okay? And there are your Fibonacci levels. And sure enough, we hit Fibonacci level 1, Fibonacci 2, 3, 4. And what we're looking for is we're looking to hit these targets, and then with our custom indicator, look for the indication that we should probably make a move, okay? Whether or not you're full exit kind of people, trim people, that's up to you on your position sizing, but we can set targets. So what you want to do, grab the bottom for the extension one, grab the bottom to the top of the move and then where the pullback went, and you'll see these levels. These levels, this is a squeeze. Typically, you get anywhere from 1 to 168 is traditional. These are the squeeze levels, okay? So now you knew that's where it was going to go. So what did we do? We went ahead and took our confirmations and got out. Now, what you can do, now that those targets were hit, you can just remove those. But now you're wondering, okay, well, where's this going to go next? Okay, well, you grab the bottom of, your prediction, your wave, and then here. So we got the bottom of the previous wave, right? This was the pullback, so you grab the bottom, okay? So what you do is fib retracement, so you can figure out where it's going to retrace to. Fib retracement. Grab the bottom of the pullback, the lowest point, to the top of the highest point. And golden Fibonacci is the golden Fibonacci you look for. If it's on there, it's probably a good opportunity. They call it a golden for a reason. Can it go further? Yes. These are my bull or my bear case pullbacks. As far as, I don't want it to do that pullback. Obviously, if I'm not in it, I do. But if I'm partially in it, I would hate for it to pull back this far. But obviously, it just creates a better opportunity. But the only way I guess, that this is no longer valid is if the lowest point goes below, or the most, like the pullback it's currently in, goes below your lowest point before. So for example, you see this, right? And you're like, okay, now where's the pullback going to go? Okay, let's go here. Where's this pullback going to go? Well, the second it dropped below our zero, our lowest point, this whole thing became invalid. Okay, so now we're waiting for the next reset. Where's the next low point? Okay, well, there's the next low point, and we started to go back up. There's the high. We're going to retrace, and we lost our stuff, all right? So that's how you know the retracement is no longer valid. As soon as you lose structure, okay, as of right now, we didn't lose that point. We went up. We didn't lose this point. So now we've gone back up. So how do I know where to go ahead and place the next target? Well, you go ahead and grab your fib extension, and you grab your lowest point, your previous low, to your high, to your furthest pullback, okay? And sure enough, this came right up. Obviously, we have a downtrend here, but came up, and we peaked, barely touched, probably like, I don't know, we got up there, 93, right? You're able to basically figure that out. Let me go to lowest, yeah. There you go. So based on that, that should be your target. Now, once we've kind of gotten up there, we got our diamond confirmation the next day, so you might as well just go ahead and take your win. We're going to get another diamond down here anyway. But what do? You grab your most recent low to your most recent high, to figure out where it's going to pull back. And it pulled back right to the 618 levels. Now, where's it going to go next? Okay, you grab your extension. Okay, your low before the pullback, the most high to the lowest point of your pullback. There's our targets. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, and it keeps going until we lose structure. Until, if this pulled back all the way below this low point, we no longer would have this valid, and now you're just waiting for a new set of bottom to happen and wave until it eventually becomes valid. Then you can follow. Okay, that's how we do fib extensions for settings. Okay, so when you are on your fib retracements, just go ahead and draw a tiny one so that way you can go ahead and double click on it and get to your settings. Okay, these are all the Fibonacci levels I use. Right here. Okay, so I don't use the trend line. Okay, don't extend. 236, 382, 0.5, 618, 0.786, 887. This is the easy version. Okay, there's a more advanced version where if you know which wave you are on, the targets are better to know. Like you can know, for example, here. Okay, if I knew we were in wave 2 tends to hit these Fibonacci levels, okay, in the reverse, but they tend to hit the Fibonacci levels. I think it's this way, yeah, because I drew it the opposite way. But anyway, these are the levels you would need for wave number 2, because that's what's most likely hits. Wave number 4 typically will only hit the 382, 5, and maybe your golden Fibonacci. So the wave 4 doesn't pull back nearly as much as the wave 2 does. That's why we like to enter in our wave 2s. And how do you count waves? Well, we count waves. If this was up is wave 1, right? So there's pullback. This is wave 2. We want to buy wave 2 to get pullback and go for wave number 3. This is number 4. And here's the run number 5. And we can get 6 out of it. And some people might count this. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. Now we're going to wave 5. So small waves, you can count them, but there are small waves inside of big waves, just like I did there, right? This is a wave, right? But this is a small wave to figure out where this target is. Now we have wave 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. So now pullbacks typically happen in sets of 3. And to the up wave is typically 5 moves. Okay, for example, to know this is completely wave 1, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we get 3 on the way down. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that is typically going to be wave 1. But now we're in wave 3, and that's why I think wave 3 is actually 120. Because here's your new bottom, right? So 1, 2, I don't think I'm going to count that 3, 4, 5. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 120. Okay? So that's why Fibonacci's is not super easy to teach the waves, because it's all up to personal preference and speculations of everything. So that's why I don't want to teach waves. Now, I want to let everyone know the Fibonacci retracement levels is grabbing the bottom, grabbing the top. Hold on, let me make sure your settings are right on the Fibonacci retracements. Okay. So what I have, and typically I don't use the 236, but it is good to know that it can be an option as far as a support level being found. So just, you can have that there, but I don't use it as a standard. I typically will run these ones. And let me just go to all retrace. I typically will go to these ones, these 3. And then these ones I like to have red, knowing that like it's a really good opportunity, but that's the bear case pullback. So that's what I like to use right there. And golden is, and these ones can be different if you want, but 618 is the traditional best pullback level to get back in at. Okay. And then for retracement settings, okay, typically you're going to have, these are the squeeze levels, so you can make these green if you wanted to, because these are going to be your squeezes. And then these are kind of your generic targets to hit. So we will hit these targets, and then if we get a squeeze, we will see these. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, but as far as settings go, you can pause the video, whatever you guys want, but there you go. There you go. And again, so that's Fibonacci levels. For example, here's BBAI, I think was one. So you thought maybe, this was going to be a wave right here, right? Boom, boom. We're going to get a pullback, and we lost support. Okay, so now we have to reset. Okay, now let's see if this is, sorry, I'm on the 2 hour. Let's go to the daily. There we go. All right. So typically, and here's bigger waves. Like this is what I meant. Like here's some small waves for us to see, but there's bigger waves inside of this thing. If we take a look here, wave one, let's see. If you draw the bottom point to that top point, where did the price come back down to? The golden Fibonacci, the 618. Okay. That's all I did. I just grabbed the bottom to the top, and the second I can find the total move, I can go ahead and figure out where the main landing page is. Same thing probably on the next one. If I grab the bottom of this to the top of this, I can figure out where the golden Fibonacci of adding is. Okay, boom, to there. Look at, we got into the bear case. And now look, we're going to pop up. Boom, 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 boom. We're breaking down the trend line. Stay out of this. Okay, so where's this going to go? Well, if this is a wave here, which I think it is, which pretty much excites me because I wasn't trading it for this reason, but I'll take it to the lowest point. Okay, there's our big picture targets. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Once we lose structure and we finally have like these big moves and this pulls back lower than this point, if this came down here and we lost 460, then yeah, this would be invalid, and now you're pretty much starting over, which it would be invalid because we also lost the moving average, so we wouldn't be trading it anyway. Now, did we lose it? Not really. If we zoom in, and the rule that I use is that the high of the candle has to be below. And on this day, who knows what it would have been exactly, but it didn't lose it, it didn't lose it, it didn't lose it, okay? Once it's fully lost is when I started playing a different game. But I'm pretty excited for this. It looks like we got some room to go. With BBAI, our free community, we are in this trade. We did get in at 575. We are at 627, so we bought yesterday. So it's been a good day. Let's see here. Obviously, we have SoFi with an offering, so a little bit pullback, but I'm not worried about it long term. I don't even like, this is the part where this is a lot of chopping, so we lost structure, and then we have a high. So if we are right on this one, our extension, if this is the top to the bottom and this is still the furthest pullback, we still should see a nice 32, somewhere to 32 to 36, and then we have a high of 50 on the highest squeeze. Okay, that's what I'm seeing for SoFi. Macro data coming out though this week could shake some things up, so that's what everyone's got to be aware of going on. All right, what do we got here? Zeta. So that's what I have for Fibonacci levels. Okay, just look back. If you lost structure by losing the lowest point, right, then you need to reset. Now this is the bottom of a wave. Here's the top of a wave. There's your pullback of the wave. Okay, how do we know it's going to pull back to there? Right, you just grab your retracement tool, the bottom to the top, and sure enough, the line found the 618 Fibonacci. That's how the mines work, okay? One sec. Alrighty. So that's Fibonacci's. Now we have the wheel strategy, and that one takes a little bit more detail to go through. With our indicator, I do it more on the neutral zones. So here, like covered calls or cash secured puts, somewhere in this neutral zone. But a lot of money can be made. If you want to hold your shares, for the most part, not guaranteed that you're going to keep your shares, but for example, I'm looking at them for ASTS, and with my targets up here, I could be setting some covered calls saying I'll sell my shares for $100 or 100 and something dollars and be getting paid money. And if it doesn't get there, I keep my shares. If it does get there, I sell my shares for the price I said I would sell them for, and I get to keep the premium they are paying me. So overall, super an amazing strategy. I want to go over it more with you guys. We have our live stream tomorrow. So we're going to go over the wheel strategy more in depth. But just know that there is another part of this game that allows you to protect yourself on bullish and bearish times. And I think it's a very key asset to when you are in uncertain times to be making money. And everyone says buy and hold, and I completely agree. Buy and hold as much as you can, but there is money to be made during those times of buying and holding, and in between there. And covered calls and cash secured puts, I would say, is the best way to do that while maintaining a long hold mindset. So we will go over that now. I wanted to go over our custom indicator. Now, the final product is not completely done yet, but it is, I would say, 90% of the way there. The final product is being like combed through from somebody else other than just me to verify everything is working. But as far as the daily time frame goes, we have that one completely done. And then our other indicator right here, our momentum indicator, is good to go for the 2 hour, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. And I know you say monthly, why monthly? Well, because you get big moments. For example, like United Health, green, we got the flip of green. But if you go to monthly, it is about to go ahead and flip green. Okay, so that is why we do it on the monthly, because you can get a really big picture here on exactly what you should be doing long term. So NVO would be one that long term seems like a great opportunity. And last time we ever had a green diamond. Let's see, actually, let me switch because this is the one I'm using for the monthly. There we go. So we got a purple candle at the top, and it means sell everything, do not hold a single thing. And sure enough, you would have sold everything, been super happy, and now you're trying to buy it for 300% less, which is amazing. So that is why we do monthly. So it's on there. Okay. There is 10 indicators built into this one that is coming out. Okay. So I want to go over that with you guys. Diamond are momentum confirmations, which are very important. Let's see here. Daily, we're on the right ones. Just want to make sure. Yep. Alrighty. So let's take a look. Rocket Labs. So 10 things ultimately. Okay. Why am I missing something? Oh, I'm on the wrong one. I'm like, what am I missing? I'm missing a diamond up there. I knew there was a diamond. Okay. So diamonds are confirmations. Okay. We have confirmations. Let's see here. There is a diamond. Okay. We have confirmation. This is, these labels are let me start over. Our indicator has 10 built-in pre-builts. Okay. There is bullish divergence and bearish divergence. Here's your bearish divergence flags telling you, you're getting some divergence here. And then sure enough, we have some more divergence warning right here. And we led to it. We had a diamond confirmation up top, and then we had divergence. So we knew it was coming down. We got a green diamond, bullish divergence happening here. And then sure enough, we get our green diamond. Okay. So flags are for bullish and bearish divergences. This is going to be just what a lot of people use will be a MACD, but it's a MACD set up to help better with this indicator as far as the settings go. And then the histogram is the momentum. So you can see the downtrend here of momentum was trending down, and then we got a nice flip back up. So there are three things. There's a divergence of momentum, there is a momentum, and there's the MACD, which is essentially momentum, but it gives it to you in a little bit lag to see the bigger picture, because momentum can flip fairly quick, but as far as the overall picture goes, doesn't mean exactly that. Okay, so in your settings here, you'll be able to change whatever colors. The colors are meant to match the indicator because they go together, and if you don't like the divergence, you can go ahead and remove those labels. Okay, as far as what this all means, okay, well, we have a legend here to help you understand exactly what the colors mean on the candles. Okay, yellow, we are in an add zone. Light green, you are entering a buy zone. Sure enough, we get the add zone, then this is the buy zone. Okay, entering it because we're going down into it, and you get it. Okay, light pink, you're entering a sell zone. Orange, you're in your trim zone. Dark red, you are in a sell zone. Diamonds are then confirmations. Okay, this is a strong confirmation. This is a stronger confirmation. Okay, so the strong confirmation of being bearish, very strong confirmation of being bearish. Okay, green, strong, very strong, bullish. Is there a yellow down here? Yellow, strong, being bullish, a confirmation of momentum. Okay, very strong, strong. Same thing. Lighter the color, strong. Darker, deeper, brighter, the red and green, super bullish or bearish, right? It's just the stronger version of it. And then you can go ahead with the purple is always just sell all. If you are into shorting companies, you can go ahead and short the company. Okay, but purple means sell all. For example, here you go on ONDS. No one would think in their right mind to short it, but sure enough, we get a purple candle and we can go ahead and short. My rule typically is short until you get the next positive momentum diamond. Okay, I will not try to stay for a green one. It does not always come. So just next momentum diamond to the upside, go ahead and close the position. An example again would be Iran. Here's your purple. Sure enough, you probably were a little bit scared, and then there we go, momentum. Okay, purple diamonds are pretty much near the top, super overvalued. Just go ahead, get out. For me, you won a lot on that trade if you took it. Okay, same thing. I mean, SBET would have been the same thing. Yeah, there's your there's your purple candle. Go ahead, sell all, short it, and you would have shorted it all the way from $100 down to $10. Okay. So purple candles are very important. So that's what the candles mean. That's the color. Diamonds are the confirmation of which momentum is carrying. You can go ahead and take a look at your other stuff on the momentum bar, and you can confirm that here's your diamond and here's your momentum flipping. Okay, so there you are. Okay. Next thing, you have auto trend lines. You can see right here, the dark green or the brighter green ones and brighter red ones are the most active trend lines. Let me go ahead and remove this because I did this trend line. The light green and the light red are the previous trend line it was following. So you can see previous trend line, it was tough to break. Boom, boom, and now we can finally officially break it. And so now it went light red. Where's the next trend line? It is right here. Okay, you have the bullish trend line here. If we did lose that, you could potentially see a little bit support right down below, just because that was the previous trend line beforehand as far as bullish goes. And you have the moving average, so you do have a lot of support right below it. That is why I did it, so that way you can see if I was to lose it or if I was to hit it as far as resistance or support, where's the next one? Okay, and where was the previous one that was active? That is what is important to us. So there's another indicator. So now we have diamonds, which is 1. You have the color coding, which is 2. You have trend lines, which is 3. You have the moving average down here, which is 4. And then you have the MACD, momentum, and divergence. So that is 7. What am I missing? We are missing Bollinger Bands. We can go ahead inside of our setting, which you guys will have. Where is it? Anyway, we'll just go here. Inside settings, here you are. Bollinger Bands. Okay. You can go ahead and add them. There you go. Inside the style, you can go ahead and change the colors. Okay. So Bollinger Bands is used for the wheel strategy. It's used to find when we see some good resistance. As you can see, it rode this one up the line. But usually rubber bands is what Bollinger Bands are meant for. So sure enough, eventually it's going to snap right back down to the bottom. Same thing here, ride it up, try to come back down, up, reject it, back to the bottom. We want to be buying on the bottom band. You want to be selling near the top of the band, top half of the band. Just because it's at the top doesn't mean it can't keep going. But it is at the point where this is when we should start looking at, getting rid of things, start looking for rejections, that kind of stuff. And then we do have buy, add, trim, sell labels. Now, this is very important to understand. Do not just go based off these labels. And the reason I say that is because let me put those on show. I'm going to remove the Bollinger Band. Okay. Here you go. Sure. Was this label correct? Yes. Was this trim label correct? Kind of. I mean, it was the same level once this red day happened and confirmation came in. Here's more trims, right? So yes, they tend to, and this was the purpose of them, and this is how I started the whole indicator, was just based off of these labels. So therefore, I'm probably never going to get rid of them because they are the reason where we are today. But the labels are a company's value. Okay. When a company's value hits a certain trigger point, it tends to be when buyers step in. Okay. And our entire strategy takes place staying above the moving average. Once you lose the moving average, trading is completely up to you. Indicator still works, but when usually you're under a 200-day moving average, you're always in the green zone because the company's extremely undervalued compared to the last 200 days. Okay. So that's why we tend to stay with buy and sell alerts above there. There are plenty of stocks in the world that are above the moving average. So that's what we stick with. But the labels tend to be when buyers step in. Trims, there's 3 different trim levels. Sorry. So you know that trim is typically when people come in to start selling. Okay. And then let me go ahead, probably, I don't know, Rocket Labs, I think had a few sells, trims. Yeah, so here you go. So you had some ads, buyers stepped in, sure enough. Here's your trim labels. Then we go ahead and get our trims. These are momentum confirmations, okay? Momentum is dying down, it seems to be, but it's light pink, right? We're not in a trim zone or sell zone, but we're starting to get there. If you're worried of any position or what's going on in the world, right, those are there to let you know. But this is when this trim action comes into play, and the diamonds help you confirm what to do. So trim, no confirmations, there's our confirmation to do something, okay? Hit the sell zone. Sell zone was also the same time as confirmation because that candle right there, I know you can't see it, it's red. Now, if we go ahead and we're in this trim zone, still no confirmation to trim on any of these labels. This is how I would use it. If a label popped up, I'm still waiting on a diamond confirmation. I am not going to just go ahead and hop in or sell just because the label populated. It is because a company's value hit a specific trigger point that I have backtested many times that have been the most typical values that a company tends to be either trimmed, sold, add, or bought. Okay. So that is why I have the labels there. As you can see, here's your ad on this big green day or yellow day, but we're below this average. So now you can see why everything is green. I'm bullish on this one right now, but here's your ad right at the bottom. Here's your ad near the bottom. Get the confirmations, right, when we're above, right? So this is the part where I say when you lose that moving average, you can go ahead and get a lot of these alerts. We switch to a different time frame when we lose the moving average. Join the free Discord, guys. You'll get all this information, but that is everything. I mean, that is 10 indicators all into 2. You do not need to pay for TradingView. Now that there's only 2 indicators that do it all, that way that is $15 a month. You do not need to pay TradingView. As of right now, to the very beginning group who are getting our indicator, it is currently and will be grandfathered in $20. So TradingView is $15. You don't need that anymore. Our indicator is $20. Really, it's only $5 once you remove the fact that most people have multiple indicators in order to trade. Okay. But our diamonds have done very well, as you guys can see with confirmations here. I wouldn't have done that. As you can see, that is a neutral candle with a trim. That is not something I would look into. This is something I would look into, a trim with a red, okay? And there's a total ebook coming out, guys. It is all about our indicators. It'll be all about our strategy and everything like that. So that is coming out as well. I'm super excited for it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to go over today before we have our big day tomorrow. just be ready for tomorrow. It will be recorded if you can't make it. Super excited for it. The indicator's coming along. I'm hoping to have it done definitely by the end of this week, by Sunday. So next week is a possibility to have. But as of right now, just continue with the daily time frame that you have available to you. And that 2 hour daily, weekly, monthly, I want it completely done perfect so we can be done messing unless we're going to be adding a new feature. But I want to make sure all of these features are completely working. All right, guys. I appreciate your guys' support. I will see you guys in the community. QR code is right there in the video to join the community. And there is a 7-day free trial right now on this indicator for you guys. All you have to do is go to our WAP. Once you join our community, you'll quickly see where to get the indicator, but it is in our WAP. And I think I can put the link in the chat. I'll go ahead and put the link somewhere. Otherwise, just join the community, guys, and we'll get you to the right place. All right, thanks.